Many people think of mathematics as a bunch of computations, like a calculator. Maybe you multiply or you add numbers together. Math is all around us and people are just not aware of it. Math is very useful.
How mathematics is used in movies. Can you elaborate on that?
How do they make that animation work? Well, they use physics, computer science, mathematics. So the medical field has created this device that I put in my arm. It's called a continuous glucometer, and it sends to my phone, and it gives me a number, and it gives me a graph here. And this is all mathematics.
Someone learned once said that mathematics is about becoming a creative thinker, not a calculator. But aren't we all afraid of maths? Today, in this episode of Horizon Talks, we are here to bust all the myths around mathematics. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of our podcast series. Today, it is a matter of immense pleasure to welcome Professor Michael Dorff of Brigham Young University, USA, here in DAV University, Jalandhar. Today, we will be talking about how mathematics is applicable in movies and our daily life. We welcome you, Mr. Michael. Sir, mathematics is one of the most valuable and interesting subjects, yet people are very intimidated by it. What are your views on this?
Thank you. And let me first say that I'm very happy to be here at DAV University and in the Punjab area. The people here are so wonderful and lovely. It's made my trip very pleasant to be here. So I am very strongly excited about mathematics. And let me tell you a little bit about it. Many people think of mathematics as a bunch of computations, like a calculator. Maybe you multiply or you add numbers together. To me, that is very much the basic parts, but the beauty of mathematics grows way beyond that. And math is very useful. It's useful in everyday type of activities that you do. Math is all around us and people are just not aware of it. I don't think that everybody has to be great at mathematics, but it is really wonderful if people will appreciate mathematics and how it's used in today's society.
So, sir, in India, there's a joke going around that where are those theorems that we learned in school? Where are we applicating them? So, I want to ask you, how maths is useful in our day-to-day life.
Okay, great question. So, how many people use a credit card? Well, I would think almost everybody is. I have several credit cards. When you put a number in that you want to purchase something and you put a number in, how does the credit card company know that you're not just making up a random number? Well, it's math. They're using math. They have codes in those numbers. The numbers they give you on the credit cards have a specific meaning. And it's math that allows them for us to be able to do that. Cell phones. How do you use a cell phone? When you use a cell phone or a GPS system, it sends a signal up to a satellite in space. When it does that, the signal can get distorted from subatomic particles. How do they know how to correct that so that it actually comes out correct, so it sounds accurate? Well, they do that by using mathematics. Another example that I think of, I am a diabetic, and that means every time I eat, I have to take a shot. And I have to be careful. If I eat too much food and I don't take enough medicine, my blood sugar rises high. And if I take too much medicine and not enough food, then my blood sugar gets too low and I could die. So the medical field has created this device that I put in my arm. It's called a continuous glucometer, and it sends to my phone, and it gives me a number, and it gives me a graph here. And this is all mathematics. I'm able to run my life in a more healthy way by using mathematics all around me. So there's lots of examples. I don't think that this podcast is supposed to go on for 12 hours, but I could talk for 12 hours about all these applications that we do. It could be finance, it could be sports. I bet in cricket that they use people who are really good with sports analytics. They analyze the situation, they use it to make the game better, the sports more exciting, and helps the team win. There's all these uses of mathematics. But unfortunately, what people often see of mathematics is just the computational part, the very basic foundations like multiplying or adding numbers. And once you get beyond that, it gets much more useful and beautiful.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I was listening to your session here in our university. It talks about how mathematics is used in movies. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. Okay. So again, I gave an hour presentation on this about how math is used in the movies. And it would take a long time for me to go into all of the details, but let me give you one example. There's a movie Disney came out with called Frozen, and I talked about that in my presentation. And in the movie Frozen, snow plays a very popular, intricate part of the movie there. Now, from what I understand, you don't get a lot of snow here in this area, but where I live, there's lots of snow, and there's different types of snow. And all the snow is animated. It's not, when you look at a movie like a Disney movie, those characters, the scenes, the nature around it, the clothes that people wear, the hair, it's all animated. How do they make that animation work? Well, they use physics, computer science, mathematics. That's how they make these movies possible. So when you go to a movie, you could think to yourself, is there math being used here? And the answer is yes. You just don't know it, but you can do it. And I don't think that everybody has to be great at mathematics, but it would be wonderful if everybody would appreciate mathematics and know that there are people who really are good at mathematics. And in where I live in the United States, the people who are good at mathematics get the better jobs, the more high-paying jobs. That's my message I'd like to get across. Math is so useful. And if you're not good at it, that's great, that's fine, but appreciate it. And if you're good at it, stick with it, because that's where the differences make in all the modern technologies.
So continuing on that question, I want to ask, what are the other fields where maths is applicable? Because here in India, people think only they can venture into academics or teaching jobs in a school level. They can pursue maths only. So what are the other fields where maths is applicable and they can pursue that?
Very good question. Thank you for asking that one. Probably in the United States, the most popular, most available jobs are in things called data science and AI. And that involves a combination of statistics, mathematics, and computer science. Those are really, really popular jobs. My oldest daughter got a PhD in mathematics. She decided not to become an academic, not to work at a university, but she works for a company, and she does data science projects. I know, as an offshoot of data science, there is sports analytics, which I mentioned a little bit earlier. I know a dozen people who work in the United States helping sports teams do better by analyzing how the players move, different situations like that. So that's another one. The medical field is becoming more and more data-oriented, and anything that involves data involves mathematics and statistics and computer science. So a lot of those are careers. Finance is very big in the United States, and we have dozens of students who get hired by financial companies, whether it's Goldman Sachs, Capital One, different banks. They hire them because the students feel comfortable using numbers, and they know how to use them in a way to help the company. We've mentioned the movie animations, or along with movies come video games. They also hire people because to make the same type of animations, you use those in video games. Computer programming, you have to be good at math to do that, and along with computer science and statistics. So those are some of the types of jobs that are used besides being a teacher or being in academia.
So you being you, have you ever felt stuck in your subject?
Yes, all the time. So I know I've heard from some people that there's a TV show from the United States called Big Bang. I don't know.
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory. And there's an episode in there where Sheldon, they're trying to solve a problem, and they're looking at a chalkboard, and they sit there and they go like this. and they have a movie, they have music in the background from The Eye of the Tiger, and then they're like this, and then they're doing this. And that's what research in math and in physics and computer science is. You have to think about these problems, and it can take a long time. If a math problem could be solved in an hour, if one of the types of research problems we were solving could be solved in an hour, then we could do a lot more. But it takes weeks, it takes months, it even takes years sometimes to solve these problems. So yes, I've been stuck many, many times. But a good thing for anybody is if you get stuck, that doesn't mean you stop. What you want to do is companies really like this. They call it a thing called sticking with the problems. Companies, when I talk to people who hire students who are good at math, they say one of the things they like is that students can take a complicated problem, break it up into small little pieces, solve the individual pieces, and then put them all together and get the grand solution. That takes time. So no problem if you're stuck with math.
If maths was a movie, how would you sum up it in a word and why?
Yeah, there's lots of possibilities here. Some people will think of movies that involve mathematics directly, like Good Will Hunting. I like to think of math as kind of an art and a superpower. So I'll say Avengers. Now, most people would not think, well, how is math related to Avengers? But math is like a superpower. If you can do math, you can help the world. You can make the world a better place, and you can help other people. And so I think of Avengers as like superpowers, and I think mathematics is like a superpower.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you talked about using maths in animations and films. What career pursuits that a student in media can follow that? Being in media, I want that, students who are good in maths, they also come in this field.
Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize when you have a animation studio like Disney, the one I'm familiar with, they have both artistic animators and they have science animators. And the science animators make the movie possible. They make the animation look real, and then they code it into software and they give it to the artistic animators, and the artistic animators make it beautiful. So somebody who loves movies and has some skills in mathematics, they can become one of those research scientists who are the scientific animators at companies like Disney, or you can go to other companies besides Disney, and you can do video games and things like that. But that type of aspect is really good. Most people don't think of, when they think of a movie, they don't think that there's science behind it. And there's science and math involved with it.
Sir, every math grad, I want to ask that what makes them hireable? What is the bridge between getting an education and being industry ready?
Okay, very good question. I've talked with recruiters who hire math students from probably over 250 different recruiters from different companies that hire students who are good at math. And I asked them this question: why do you want to hire someone who's good at math? And they give me a list of skills that math students have that they really appreciate. They list problem solving, being able to take a problem and think of it creatively and solve the problem. They also talk about the ability to learn something new on their own. The world is changing so fast right now that you in the future, you may have to solve a problem that you have no training for. Well, how can you learn that? Well, you have to learn it on your own. And that's a skill that a lot of people who are good at math are able to do. They're also able to solve problems abstractly. Like there might be a problem here that makes sense. Can they transfer it to another situation? So that ability to do something abstractly is something that these companies like. Also, the ability to pay attention to detail. This is like companies like Google and computer companies. They will ask these questions that will see how well the person they're trying to recruit, how well they pay attention to details. So those are some of the skills. And having really great both computing skills is very important, and also having good communication skills. These companies like people who can write and speak well.
So coming back to India, Aryabhatta invented zero. I want to ask in simple terms how zero is so important in maths. Why zero is so important in simple terms?
In simple terms, why is zero so important? So if you have something like, let's say, temperatures. You have positive temperatures, like right now it's probably around 38 degrees here. Where I live, it can go below there. What's the separation between positive and negative? That's where the zero comes in. Or you could also apply that to like finances. Hopefully nobody's in this situation where you have negative amount of money. That means you owe money, but you can have positive. But zero is the separator between the two.
Sir, at last, I want to ask, what is your message for the students who are actually studying and our audience?
First of all, I think you should all be grateful to be here in India. This is a wonderful country. This is my 5th trip to India. The people here are so friendly. They're so nice. Sometimes you hear things in the news about politics and things like that. I want you to understand that the general person in America, we like Indians. We love people from India. And you guys are also friendly. Also, this university, DAV University, has been very generous to me. Very, very nice to be here. I really appreciate my host, Raj, and everybody who's treated me so nicely here. And I guess my final message would be that math is something to be appreciated. It's all around you in the world. Even if you're not good at math, just appreciate it. Realize that we use math all the time. It makes the world a better place.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being with us and for this insightful conversation.
Well, thank you very much, too.